Alright, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that shall do well. Peace and blessings and salutation to the brethren, across the four corners of this world that continue to push this word day in and day out, in all sincerity and in all diligence. This is my brother Matanav from one of the camps here of Great Millstone in Trinidad, and just, coming through the Spirit to do a quick lesson, on one of the most, significant topics that, there is in the scriptures, which is a prophecy that is to come to pass. Scripture say we had the testimony of Yahushai, and the testimony of Yahushai, the spirit of Yahushai, is prophecy. You understand? So a lot of prophecy is gonna come out, especially as we, edge closer to the end, because a lot of things are to unfold. And I'm just gonna start with this precept here. This is Ephesians 5 and verse 14. I was gonna read 15, but since I say 14 already, and I'll just start from there. It says, "Wherefore he said, Awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Yahushai shall give thee light." And that awake from that thou that sleepest, not speaking about, being, physically asleep and not being physically dead, but coming out of that state of slumber or sleep or rest or confusion or darkness, because that is which represents, in a state of darkness, and Yahushai shall give thee light from what the word. It says in 15, "See that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil." Scriptures say, evil men gonna wax worse and worse. Iniquity shall abound. So that means the days that we are, as each day pass, the day everything gets more evil, more wicked, especially because of the fact that we are under a wicked man. As the scripture says in Sirach, as is the king, as is the king of the city, so is the citizens. Let me read that. I think that is Sirach 10. And verse 2, it says, "As the judge of the people is himself." It says, "As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man ruleth, and what manner the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein." Scripture say Esau shall call them the border of wickedness. So if he rule in the earth, guess what? The world and the citizens by extension gonna be, gonna be wicked. The scripture say redeeming the time, because the days are evil. And what time we are in? We are in a time where they're pushing their agenda to bring forth a cashless society. And I was just on YouTube, it had these channels that you listen to, these independent journalists and them that bring forward the news, things that mainstream media don't really push, and ever so often you would see them talk about they bringing forth cashless society in Australia, in Sweden, here, there, bringing about smart cities, they're bringing about 50-minute cities, all these different things. And I just say, let me chat. I was just looking back for an article about about one in Trinidad that the Minister of Finance spoke about 5 years ago. And he said here too, in Trinidad, they're going to make a push to bring forth a cashless society. Now these people saying that here's a third world country, they're going to make that push We ain't ready for that. We don't have the technology for that. But guess what? They're still gonna do it. Still gonna do it. The scripture says rich and poor. You understand? So it's not just first world or so-called first world countries or so-called rich countries. It's all countries gonna do it. As long as you have a central bank within the country, they're gonna make that push towards digitization of the economy. But let's bring the article real quick from Daily Express. As I said, it was from a couple months ago, 4 months to be exact. It says acting Prime Minister and Finance Minister Colman Burt is certain of Trinidad and Tobago's cashless transition as other countries are close to completing their cashless societies. It says, quote unquote, I want to make it crystal clear that we in the government of TNT are pressing on with our cashless program, redeeming the time because the days are evil. You know what time we in? We need time where they're about to bring this MOTB. You understand? So that means very soon that you're not going to be able to pay for anything with cash. But that is not the important part of it. The important part of it is that the Most High say that you're not supposed to take it. Anybody who take it gonna be destroyed. And that is where the test that is when the scripture talk about tribulation shall come upon all the world to try them that are therein. That is the test that gonna come. And the majority of people are gonna fail. It says there are many countries in the world where cashless transactions are almost at 100%, he said yesterday at the National Financial Inclusion Strategy Consultation Workshop. Blah blah blah. It says Imbert also questioned whether the resistance to a cashless society might be linked to tax non-compliance. It says, and if I digress, when I see the loud opposition by a small group to a cashless economy, I have to wonder, and forgive me for this, whether that is somehow used for compliance with tax. I have to wonder because cash leaves no trace, but digital banking has a record. So you can't do anything, and hide from these elites when you have a digital economy, when you have digital transactions, digital banking or digital payments, because everything is recorded. However, if you're paying with cash, you're going to be able to hide trace of your transactions. You understand? So that is the time that we are in. They're looking to bring forward their agenda. This is says 2 Corinthians 2 and verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So we're not ignorant of their devices. They're gonna bring the MOTB in a way where they're gonna make it look, convenient or beneficial, or seem like a miracle to the people, But that is a snare. That is deceit, because they're gonna actually use it to trace you. They're gonna use it to track your every movements, to track all your payments, and even to to put a limit on how much you're spending. They could use it to ration goods. They could use it for all sorts of things. You understand? So it's completely a bad thing. I can't even say it's more of a bad thing than a good, because there's no good in it. You understand? Because what you do when you take that tag in your hand is that you give up your ownership, or you basically saying that you belong to this man. As the scriptures say, it is the number of a man. The number of a man is Esau, which is 600, 3 square and 6 on all his products. So if he has one of that in you, what that means that you are one of his products. You know, let me read that scripture in Revelation 13 and verse I'll read from verse 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And that is what the Lord say, you know, to be faithful unto that. Gonna have martyrs. You're gonna have martyrs. You're gonna have men that, you know, are beheaded. Scriptures talk about that in Revelation as well. Those that will be beheaded. The souls of them that cry, I think that is in Revelation 6 and 10. You understand? So you put up a resistance to that man, you know, system or the image of the beast or what that man trying to push, and you're gonna become a martyr. It says in verse 16, and he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And just last week we was talking to that reprobate who was once in our camp, and he said that law is accepting the devil as your Lord, and that don't make any fucking sense. That don't make any sense. Who? Alright, the type of people that will come out here and say blatantly that they are Satanists. But who would really come out here and say that they accept the devil as the Lord? That don't make any sense. And not that it doesn't make any sense when I actually go into the word mark. Let me go into that word mark. When you actually go into the word mark, it has nothing to do with that. Go into the word mark. The word here is charagma in the Greek. It says a stamp or an imprinted mark. Of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as a badge of the followers of the Antichrist, which is not a badge of followers of the Antichrist. The mark branded upon horses, thing carved, sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images. And when you go down to the Strong's definition, it says from the same as G5482, which is the root word, and I'll go into that root word after. It says a scratch or etching, a stamp, select, i.e., which means that is, or in a sense, stamp as a badge of servitude or sculptured figure, statue, graven mark. So that is a physical mark. As long as you're talking about a badge of servitude, you're talking about a physical mark. Going to the word carax, it says a pale stake, palisade, pales between which earth, stones, trees, and timbers are heaped and packed together. So if they say that they get from the root word carax, that means it have to do with something where you're gonna be piercing you're gonna be piercing the skin, because that's what a palisade or a pale or a stake does do, pierce. They get the word charagma from the word carax, so that means that mark or that badge of servitude gonna pierce your hand. Simple. People just don't like the idea of it because they don't see a way around it. Some of them don't see a way around it, so they deny it to be the mark because they don't make up their mind to take it because they see that is where it's heading to. And some just blatantly don't want to say it because they've been paid off, and the rest just blatantly don't want to say it because they didn't come up with it. You understand? But it's easy and simple. But nevertheless, as the scriptures say, the elect obtain it and the rest are blinded. So at the end of the day, no matter how well you break it down, no matter how well you present it, no matter how well you're going to you read definitions and how well you bring out points, some of them still not gonna get it. You understand? But the scriptures say, and the scripture is speaking to the elect of themselves. Understand? They are the ones that are going to read the scripture and gain understanding. Scriptures say in Ephesians 5 again. Ephesians 5 again. Let me get it. 5 and 15, it says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. And if you walk in circumspectly, you know that that is something that is happening because of that prophecy. And you see that they are about to bring that, you're not going to set your heart upon the goods that you're obtaining in this life. As Yahushua say, set your affections on things above. You know, set your love on the things that you're gonna gain, not the things that that you might lose. Because if you set your affection on the thing that you might lose, and most likely lose, because they're bringing forth a beast system where they're gonna make the rebels, if I could put it that way, the rebels outcasts, then you're gonna lose a lot. How are you gonna pay your rent? Or how are you gonna pay for your house? How are you gonna pay electricity bill? How are you gonna pay water rate? How are you gonna pay internet? How are you gonna do these things? How are you gonna buy a phone card? How are you gonna pay for a car? How are you gonna buy gas? So you're gonna be outcast. So all these things you're gonna lose. And that is one of the reasons why some people would say, well, that can never be the man, because they're not prepared to lose these things. Understand? Verse 16 again, it says, redeeming the time, because the days are evil and they're going to grow worse. If you look at current situation with crime running rampant here in Trinidad. Why? As we go closer to the end, as the scripture says, the birth pain is going to grow. You know, the pressure going to increase. Hell going to raise. You know, wickedness going to abound. Wickedness going to increase. You know, so with that, I want to give all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that surely do well. Peace and blessings unto the Archium throughout the four corners of this world. You know, this is your brother Matana here from the GMS Trinidad Camp, saying Shalom.